Hi, this is Jack Westman for ESEAnews.com here in Jönköping, Sweden for DreamHack Winter 2014. Joining me first and foremost this time is Gray Khan, the head of eSports for DreamHack. Long time head of eSports, right? How long have you been doing this job now?
Oh, I've been at DreamHack for 5-6 years. And I think that title, maybe 3-4 years, 4 years maybe,
All right.
Something like that.
Very nice. Well, I'm aware that I interviewed you last year, but for people who have forgotten what head of eSports entails, can you remind us what your role is?
Yeah, I mean, DreamHack is still a small company. I think we're 18 people in total, and 4 or 5 of us is working only with eSports, setting up tournaments, talking to sponsors, talking to broadcasters, talking to publishers, trying to arrange as big, massive eSport tournaments we can. And I'm head of that little team of 4 or 5 people, and yeah, we work full time with eSports, and we work with something we love, which is a very good thing.
Well, and DreamHack's clearly getting a lot bigger year after year, right?
Yes.
So that must be satisfying.
Absolutely, and I think the eSports part is growing every event, and that's the cool thing, that eSport is taking a bigger and bigger position within our DreamHack festivals.
Okay, well, glad to hear. Now, this is a Counter-Strike interview, mainly, and the big news, of course, is the hacking accusations that came out a few weeks ago. People are calling it the vacation, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
As a tournament organizer, what goes through your head when you've read that 2 players that were supposed to be in your tournament get banned a week before they're supposed to arrive?
I mean, on a personal level, I got very sad, because I've been part of the Counter-Strike community since 2001.
Right.
And of course, you have seen players getting banned. You have seen, especially from I would say, the semi-elite, just under the professional part. Usually, you see a lot of players get banned, but never on this level I've seen anything like this. You have 2 players that also have admitted it afterwards, so there's no doubt they have been cheating, and they have a whack ban, which is kind of digital for me. It's either 1 or 0, and it's obvious that they can't compete in this tournament. Yeah,
I saw an interview you did immediately after the allegations came out, where you said DreamHack would be taking steps to make sure that everything was legitimate here.
Yes.
But you didn't say what they were.
Yes. I mean, you can never promise anything or stuff like that, but I think this will be one of the most secure CS:GO tournaments we have organized, all of us pretty much, in CS:GO, and that's thanks to Valve. They have 5 people here helping us setting up everything. I can't really go into everything we do, because that would be not smart to mention everything, but I mean, it's kind of easy stuff in the end. Locking the computer, locking the network access, locking those kind of stuff. And you can't really, we also have new rules when it comes to entering the stage. You can't bring, for example, your cell phone to the stage. You can't bring other storage devices and stuff like that. So it's also...
But there is other stuff in addition to those basic measures that you're taking. Okay. Do you think because you're kind of not telling people exactly what you're doing, that it kind of hurts the transparency? People might say, so in a month's time, if people get banned again, people will say, well, maybe they were hacking at DreamHack. How can we know DreamHack didn't tell us exactly what they were doing?
Because it's a little bit counterproductive to explain all the details, because then if there's cheaters out there and attending this tournament, then they know how to work around it.
Right.
And I think people understand that argument. And I mean, we have the developers of the game here. Obviously, they have caught already 2 players in 2 professional teams.
Yep.
So I think we also have the DreamHack team working with the setup of network and everything else in the setup. And at some point, I think people need to trust that setup. And we just need to prove after this event that this was a cheat-free event.
Okay, fair enough. The developers are here, have faith in the development team. So just talking of Valve quickly, how much input did Valve have prior to the event when, making the decision to uninvite Titan and Epsilon and organising the qualifier you had? How much was Valve involved in that last week or so?
Obviously, it's been a discussion between us all the time, but it's actually about the DreamHack rules for CS:GO, which is both teams had a player cheating, and WAC banned players are not allowed in our tournament. Number 2 is you lose your invitation if you're not meeting the eligibility requirements for from Cologne, ESL Cologne, where you need to have 3 players from the same lineup as the one at ESL Cologne at DreamHack Winter. And in this case, both players, SF and Kelly didn't meet those. They were actually the last 3rd player.
Right.
So they lost their invitation to the event. That's how it is.
Okay, and obviously you had the qualifier
Yes.
the weekend just gone, and we have Flipside in Copenhagen Wolves here as a result. People would argue that maybe they're not on the same level as Titan and Epsilon were. Maybe the tournament is slightly weaker because of it. Do you think it's hurt the tournament?
I think we still have 16 really good teams here. I think we still have, I would say, 6 or 7 teams that can win this. We still have, I would say, one of the most competitive tournaments. I mean, Copenhagen Wolves could have been in the tournament from the first place. Flipside have proven now online. I mean, they went really far in our qualifier from the beginning. So if we were about to just invite one team, for example, I think Flipside would be the one because they had the best result in the qualifier. And they've been proving again, beating, was it London Conspiracy? Yeah, I think so. In the qualifier again. And I mean, we did that qualifier over I think with 12 hours preparations, because all this happened during the night to Friday, and then we got 20 players flying into Stockholm, and also the Swedish players had to travel from the southern part of Sweden and stuff like that. So it was a very rushed thing, but I think it was important that we did it, because then at least we gave more teams a chance to get this slot. And you saw how close it was between 3D Max and Copenhagen Wolves. I think it was extremely close that 3D Max got that spot. But they didn't. So.
You didn't consider doing another BYOC tournament? Because last year, DreamHack Winter last year, you got 2 teams from the BYOC, right?
The problem we have with DreamHack is it's so limited in time, so we only have 3 days. And we are really keen to broadcast the full playoffs one by one. So we don't want to have like 2 round of 8 matches at the same time, which ends up we can only have a schedule where we play all the groups day 1, and that doesn't allow us to have a qualifier on site. It's not possible in terms of time and execution. So.
All right. Okay. I'm aware head of eSports probably has other things to do than stand here. So last question. Counter-Strike has a very long history with DreamHack. It goes right back to the beginning, basically. I know you're a Counter-Strike player yourself. Is Counter-Strike just a little bit more special to DreamHack than some of the other games here?
I would say Counter-Strike is very special to DreamHack because it's been part of DreamHack since I think 2000, 2001. We've been hosting tournaments here, so obviously it's very connected to our brand and what we're doing in esports. And for me personally, Counter-Strike is still without any doubt the #1 FPS game out there. There's no other game actually challenging Counter-Strike, so obviously we want to still support that, still create good tournaments, and I'm just looking forward to this tournament now. It feels that it can be really, really good, but you never know. It's always up to the players and the teams to create those epic moments and play good matches versus each other.
Have you got a favorite team?
Not really. I mean, I can't really have a favorite team.
No Swedish bias?
No. Back in the days, on the 1.6 days, I liked Eyeballers when they won CPL 2004, maybe.
Going only 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, great, Cam. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Always nice to talk to you. And for everyone at esca.net and escanews.com, stay tuned for the rest of our coverage here from Jönköping, Sweden.